The straw that broke the camel's back. I was at the house. It was a Saturday morning. Phone rings. I pick it up. I'm downstairs. She's upstairs. I'm like, hey, what up? And this guy's on the phone. He's like, hey, what's up? Is Moni there? And I was like, yeah, who this? Because she didn't have any brothers, and I knew all her male cousins, and I didn't recognize the voice. He's like, is this Juwan? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, this is Slim. I always told Moni if I had a chance to talk to you, I would thank you. And I was like, I don't follow. He's like, your old lady and you are planning a wedding, right? So she just has your credit cards. You let her spend what she needs to spend to take care of the wedding. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, I want to say thank you for the leather coat. I want to say thank you for the herringbone. I want to say thank you for the Cuban link. I want to say thank you for the rims.
This guy doesn't give a f***.
Nah.
He's like, I'm not only...
Yeah.
I'm also, by the way, I've never looked better.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, if that man would have crashed out and done something that was quote unquote stupid, then you and your man might not be here today. Y'all would have been looking sideways. Y'all would have been slow singing and flower bringing. But y'all do things to violate a man. Y'all embarrass men. This, y'all talking about, is it embarrassing to have a boyfriend? This is a humiliation ritual. One of the top.
If you give a man peace, he will give you whatever the fuck you want. Just as simple as that. What a concept.
How do I reciprocate a man's efforts beside thanking him? Your attention, your admiration, your genuine feminine energy when you are looking at him and admiring him, letting him know what you think of him and how much you believe in him. Your time, your beauty, your presence, your attention.
Men should not get married. I'm going to get a lot for this one, but I don't even think at this point from my content that I post and reading all the comments in my posts that men even benefit from marriage at this point. Like, think about it. Back in the day, marriage used to be like for land. Like, okay, Susie's going to marry Johnny because Susie comes with 10 acres, right? And so Johnny would become part of the family and get 10 acres when he married Susie. Okay, great. And it was all contracted anyway. Like, everybody's like, oh, you want to contract Pound Town, and you want to make sure that Pound Town is being had no matter what. Well, what else is the man really getting out of this at this point? Not only if a man gets married, does he tie into said woman, then she can cut him off and no longer say that she wants to have Pound Town relations with him anymore, intimacy, whatever. Then if he cheats or leaves or does anything outside of that relationship, she'll take half his and walk away. And most of the time, in today's society, that man came with a pension. That man came with a damn good job that he worked hard to get into before he got with you. And if that's not the case, then we're not talking about that, okay? But focus with me here. I don't want to hear a bunch of my comments. Well, blah, blah, blah. No, we're talking about the men that showed up into the relationship that already had a pension, already had a good job, already had a great status, and then marries somebody, and then she cuts him off emotionally, physically, all of the things. He gets then dies inside and either steps out of frustration and whatever, feeling wanted. We're not naturally, us humans want to be close to another human. We want that human touch. We want that loving connection with somebody. That's what we want and need. That's what we crave as humans. We are animals. And so by cutting that off, a man is only going to last so long before he goes and wanders or finds corn on the internet to watch and take care of himself with. And then you have the woman that starts like noticing that said husband isn't showing up the way he used to. Well, no, because he's been cut off from the thing that we crave the most. And then she wants to leave said husband, files for divorce, and takes half of his, and he's left with nothing. Like, men really don't get when they get married. They really don't. The only thing that they get is rights over their children. And don't even get me started about having kids when you're not married and that's a whole nother topic. We won't even go there. But men really don't get, other than their name on a birth certificate for the kids and some type of right when you're married. When you're not married, the court looks at it as you have no rights, and you have to prove that you're actually the parent, even if you have the name on the birth certificate. So, in my opinion, all these women yapping on the internet, well, what the do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Because as far as I can see, the man is showing up with the most, and women show up with the least, but yet we carry the box. So we're just like some magical powered like human, and men must bow down to us. Like, that is so ridiculous. And I know that I'm going to get so much for this, because they're going to be like, you're not a girl's girl. No, I'm just logical. What do you guys think?
I hope that this gym sees this and kick your ass out.
Oh, we saw it, and we are. So this morning, we were made aware of a video that was filmed inside of one of our clubs. And by made aware, I mean tons of comments and DMs. And the video got reposted and stitched by one of the most influential and popular fitness personalities online with millions of followers. So look, we're not going to repost the video online here or continue to bash this former member on social media any more than is already being done. If you want to see it, you can go over to Joey Swole's page and see his reaction and his take on it. But we wanted to use this opportunity to address etiquette about recording yourself in the gym. So obviously, in areas like a locker room, don't even take the phones out. Don't take the cameras out. There's members in there changing. There's an expected level of privacy. If you're out on the floor, just try not to get people's in your shots of your PR. We've got studios with huge mirrors, much better place to take your progress photos. So if you're recording yourself in the gym, just be mindful of who's around you. There's going to be members in the background. They might not want to be in your shot. And definitely do not record anything in the locker rooms. What?
Yo, fam, listen, when you eat Everest Kitchen, you start caring. Not like this guy. This guy been used to eating that
all his life. So now he's like, I don't care. He's just walking around with no care in the world. Come to Everest Kitchen and eat the best, start caring.
I will never understand people's obsession with filming other people nude in a locker room, then posting it online. And newsflash, whether you censor him or not, it is still illegal to film people in an area of expected privacy, like a locker room. And you did this all for what? To advertise your restaurant? Seriously? Then you go and say in the comments that you're not supposed to change in a locker room, that it's weird to get naked. That is literally what the locker room is for. What do you want people to do after taking a shower? Just have their clothes magically appear on them? And people tried to tell you in the comments that you're wrong. You clapped back and got cocky and arrogant and supported people that laughed at that man. Well, I hope that this gym sees this and kicks your ass out. And that man presses charges. We'll see how funny you think it is then and how cocky and arrogant you are. You need to do better. Mind your own business.
I really don't know what that's about, but that's weird, dude. Like, I'm not sure what he's doing. Just take that out. Bruh, somebody in the comments said, dude is gonna get sued. And somebody else in the comments said, the clown just took it down. Finally. I think other people are talking about this is illegal. It's gotta be. What are you doing? Didn't, what's her name, DoorDash girl just get arrested for this? For filming somebody with no clothes on? What are you doing?
I think that women are significantly more narcissistic. I think filters, women are starting to think they actually look like they're filters. Like, I swear to God,
true.
when I go on social media and I say younger women are more attractive than older women, you know what I get? I get married 37-year-old mothers tweeting at me their selfies, proving to me that they are the epitome of hotness. My God, these always get millions of views. Now, if I do women like rich men, I don't get men tweeting at me that they're poor and they can still get women. I don't see it. I don't think we live in reality, because I don't think men ever really correct us.
A lot of my peers are clubbing, they're going to the bars, they're going to this, and they're like, oh, well, how'd you get this nice car? How'd you get all this? How'd you get this? It wasn't partying. I'll tell you that fucking much. You want the Rolls Royce? You want the house? You want all this luxurious lifestyle? You gotta work your ass off.
You don't hoe.
You have to work hard. B-O-P.
I don't know what you think your job is. You gotta admit to yourself why you've made it to where you are today. I built up my following through, well, doing stupid shooting guns, wearing a Burger King crown, racing around a cross track, and last but not least, I gamble ridiculous amounts of money on Rainbet. The reason you can afford a Rolls Royce and sit back and finally relax is because you sold your online. I don't know what delusion you live in.
3 days later.
Camilla saw my video. I'm not boxing Camilla, guys. We have a lot to go through. Starting from the beginning, I made a few videos talking about OF and why I would never start one. Then we got stitched by Andy. Her reply was, I don't have and to shut up. Back to it. So then Camilla makes a video talking about hard work. I'm like, hard work? Now I have to stitch this. I posted that, it hit 100K views. Camilla likes it. I'm like, okay. And her boyfriend sees it. I see a comment. W gambling promo. Camilla, you ever gambled on Rainbow before? It's pretty fun. And then, to top it off, she reposts my video. Final boss level now. I'm like, alright, bro. I will not be boxing no one. Alright, Camilla, you know you're a hoe. Can't ignore the fact that you're a hoe. I never thought I would say this, but Camilla is a bop that I do not dislike. Olivka, like, what are you doing? Why are you, like, talking good about a bop? I know. There's no doubt in my mind that she never had to start an OF. She would have made it to where she is today without the OF. Camilla is pretty, and she has a social media personality. I've seen her hint at trying to get out of OF, okay? Get the hell out of OF. Ashes for 304s. Choose the right path.
And that's what the shame of it is. You know, it's just, like, you guys without this are good. Even outside of OF. Some of these ladies, they don't need that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be around that type of stuff. Why would you do that when you don't need to? But I guess they feel like, well, it's fast money. I got to sell out. I got to get what I want. I got to, just kind of put that mask on. Going to, I can't even call it monk mode, but it's a focus of getting this money and worry about what everybody else is talking about later. As long as I'm rich, I go buy what I want to go buy, driving the car that I want to drive in. That's all I want.
What could possibly be on that man's phone that is more interesting than the hypnotizing female body?
Just about anything. A lot of men try to be respectful and try not to stare. They know a lot of women would get upset over that. There are so many risks to him sitting there staring. And he could potentially be confronted by her if he were to do that. To a lot of men, this kind of thing just isn't worth it anymore. And I thought women didn't want to be stared or gawked at, especially when they're at the gym working out. So which one is it?
I said, you're not gonna hit me though. You're not gonna hit me though. You ain't gonna hit me though. You ain't gonna hit me though. Is you? I'm calling my daddy right now. I'm calling my daddy right now. Nope. Hello?
And this is what a lot of men stay away from. This is drama. You're going to call some other men over to my house without showing them what you actually did. And you're going to get those men in trouble, because I'm not going to allow a man to come in my house and put his hands on me in my house. And especially when I hadn't done nothing, especially when you just put your hands on me and now I'm protecting myself. I'm defending myself. And now you want them to come defend your honor when you don't got no honor. Don't get your daddy, don't get your brothers hurt walking up in this house. It's best that you go on down the road.
Reach for the sky, touch your toes. Anything shows, go change your clothes.
Someone once told my wife, your clothes should be tight enough to know you're a woman and loose enough to know that you're a lady. And as a dad with a daughter, I think this little daily ritual is actually helpful.
So she thinks being in a relationship and cheating on her man is okay, and for you to mind your business.
I don't care what I got going on. If I'm cheating on my girl, don't bring my for real. I'm cheating on my, why are you talking about? That's still my man. That's still my man.
So she's basically telling her friends shut up and let her cheat in peace.
Don't bring up my, if I'm cheating on him. That really is none of your business. And if you keep bringing my app, I'm about to tell him. I don't care. I don't care if I'm talking to you and I have no business talking to you. Don't be talking about my...
And if you thought she was joking, she's not.
I might tell a joke, but I never tell a lie. One thing about me, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have a reason to. I'm always going to tell you the truth, whether you believe it or not. That's on you. You might think I'm playing because I play a lot. I'm really goofy. I'm really funny. But just know, when I blurted out at 3 a.m. last night, hey, I'm about to cheat on you, I meant it. I was telling you. I was giving you a heads up. Just know.
I think that's why she's in the shower. But check this part out.
Some feathers with this one. I'm not a fatherless. I'm not a fatherless. Now, I'm really, 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 really sorry to the bitches that is fatherless out here, but bitch, I'm not a fatherless bitch.
To her father, I know you're proud right now.
I'm not a fatherless. I don't want it all on it. Well, I'm an independent black woman. I'm an independent black.
Y'all heard what she said. She's an independent black. She don't need no man.
I'm sorry, I'm not a fatherless. I be down with the fatherless activities like shaking our ass, hella crazy and stupid as fuck outside and acting a fool and staying out till 5, 6 in the morning and fuck my baby daddy. I be with all that.
And we have people living like this? Ah, man, we're cooked. We're cooked.
What's your age?
I'm 21 years old.
I'm 22. How long you been together?
About 3 years.
If your woman gave you a guilt-free pass to have fun with any girl of your choosing, do you take it or do you leave it?
Are you gonna be mad at me?
No.
Okay. I would take it. Are you sure? Okay.
Say whatever you feel.
I would take it. Because I know that she loves me at the end of the day. Don't be mad at me. Okay.
Say what you feel.
What's really in it for you to just experience another woman?
What isn't? Pleasure? Like, I don't know.
Do you think that if you did sleep with a random girl that it would affect the relationship that you've built over the last 3 years?
For me, it's a no, but for her, I would want to know her answer. But honestly, like, we're pretty loyal to each other, and we know that, like, when things happen, it's okay. I have never done that, so I don't know. We trust each other enough to know that we love each other and that we are going to be together in the future. But honestly, the answer that I could give you would be, yeah, I would, and I don't know what she would say.
So let's flip it, right? Let's say he gave you one. Knowing his answer, do you take it or would you still, say, nah, I'm good?
I'm good. I don't need to. I'm not upset with him for answering that he would. I'm not offended. It doesn't make me feel different about myself. I don't feel the need to. I value an emotional connection with people more than a physical. And I appreciate a physical once I have an emotional. So a one night random situation doesn't mean anything to me. So yeah, I honestly wouldn't take the opportunity if I had one.
Bro, just stop talking. Just be quiet. Shut up talking, please. You've done too much. You've already said too much, man. Just stop talking. Quit talking. You've lost. You lost the moment you opened your mouth. This is not a question that you should have answered, but I'm glad you did. So now she can be on her way. It looks like y'all might have come from some sort of date or maybe a play or something like that. A night out on the town. Get stopped on the street for an interview, and this is what we have right here.
When a woman throws away the entire message because one part challenged her, she's not ready for real intimacy, real leadership, or real growth. My brother, that's a red flag. And that's where maturity shows itself. Because growth requires the ability to pause, sift, and separate. You have to be able to ask yourself questions like, what part of this actually applies to me? What part makes me better? What part do I need to sit with? That's accountability. And a lot of women never get there because they hear one uncomfortable truth and their ego takes over. They start defending instead of listening. They start reacting instead of reflecting. And they start protecting their pride instead of protecting their present and protecting the future.
I'm known as a deadbeat dad, but the real deadbeat is the one who collects child support. You didn't like what I just said there? Well, let me ask you a question. Why is it that involved fathers are forced to pay child support when they're already supporting their child, but the dads that aren't involved in their child's life don't have to pay any child support? So seriously, ask yourself, who's the real deadbeat here?
Where are your balls? Ooh. Seriously.
First of all, I want to commend you on your show. I mean, I watch you every day, so you're doing a phenomenal job. But my disagreement would be that I do feel that there should be a better way to bring the men and women together. Because from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of harshness coming in tone. And I don't think a lot of women are used to that because of the society we're in.
So your
I'm sorry,
disagreement
go
is
ahead.
with my tone?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Then you go do it.
One of the best answers ever, because if you disagree with his tone, then what's stopping you of creating your own platform and do it however you want to do it? And if your product is better, then more people will go listen to you. But it's way easier to criticize, especially if you can't pressure test your criticism towards what gets the better results.
I respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
I just feel that
Kevin's
women
confused.
aren't accustomed to men of that.
Were you raised by your
caliber.
father?
Yes.
Keep saying feel.
I'm asking because you keep talking about feeling, how you feel. I feel. That is a big trigger word, especially around men's content. Women talk about how they feel. Tell me about what you know and what you think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, what I know is women have a very hard time with men that are as strong toned as you come across.
What type of women?
They don't seem to receive that as well as someone with a softer tone.
Oh,
Really?
God.
Does it matter how they receive it, or does it matter what they do about it?
Yeah.
Took off his
That's
glasses
the
for this
question I'm
one.
asking you. Why, as a man, are you giving me the emotional argument based upon outcomes?
I don't really see that many that much of a good outcome, honestly.
Of who? For me or for them?
Right.
Well, black women. I mean,
No.
Black women.
My tone aside, I'm getting outcomes.
Yeah.
The people who tell them you're a queen and a goddess, are they getting women married? Going back to their husbands? Reframing how they look at men?
You're getting more outcome. I mean, I will.
So as a man, how are you going to come to
And
me
tell
as
them
a
to
man
change
who's
it.
getting a better outcome and tell me about a tone?
Come on.
Well, simply because I just feel like
Again, with the feeling. See, the problem is when you say this, you weaken us. You sound soft saying this. The problem is brothers who think like you're too weak for this fight.
I know my daddy told me you need to focus a little bit more on what I'm saying versus how I'm saying it. If you can deal with me, you can deal with anybody. And let me tell you, you know, my dad is one of the most, really the easiest people to talk to. But, you know, when we was growing up and we felt like we was going to start talking trash and all that other stuff, my dad would go back and forth with us. We were grown now. It's probably 4 or 5 years ago, 2025. Let's say probably about 2021. My brother and my dad were talking about something. And my older brother, like, they were really upset about it. And instead of my dad sitting down and just continuing to watch TV, he was standing up, talking to my brother. I mean, talking to this brother, talking to him. No, you ain't gonna do this and da 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 da. I'm walking the house. I don't know where my mama is. She back in the room, minding her business. She might not even been there. Like, going just at his age, just going back and forth. I'm like, Daddy, sit down. But through those conversations, we learn, hey, you don't gotta do all of that, but don't be a pushover. You study, right? Not everybody's going to agree with you, but you study what you're talking about, right? And you don't allow people to basically get you out of your position. And this is what he's talking about. Hey, listen, I understand what you're saying, but you're feeling a lot. You don't really know, well, I feel like this, I feel like that. And it's okay to feel. But at some point in time, as a man, you got to go forward. Okay, I know this to be true. And based on what I know, let's go with this decision. It's going to be the wrong decision sometime, period, end of story. But that's all I knew at that point in time. So that's what I went with, right? And that's how you start to build as a man and you know, trial and error. I mean, obviously you don't want to make the same mistakes, And you try to stay away from the big, huge, self-defeating, self-eliminating mistakes, right? To take yourself out of the race. But you're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna do some things that are not great, right? But you need to focus on building yourself up and becoming a solid foundation. I hate to say the word weak, but wishy-washy, what the old timers used to call jelly-backed. Yellow belly, I think they said. You don't want to be that.
I get asked all the time why my last relationship didn't work. I was engaged for about 2 years. We were together for 5 years total. And wow, I changed a lot in that time. I grew so much, and the individual that I was with was one of the most stable and consistent people I've ever known, but it was to a detriment. He did not have a growth mindset, and he was very comfortable living the life that he was living. And I wanted growth. I don't really have anything terrible to say. Except the fact that he made me stop my job that I was growing on.
The level of delusion that these OnlyFans girls have. To make a whole ass video talking about how she left a good man because he didn't have a growth mindset like she did. And how he held her back in her career. When in reality, this was a guy that had a basic level of morals and integrity. And he simply didn't want to be with someone who wanted to sell naked videos and pictures of themselves on the internet. But somehow in her mind, that meant he is complacent because he didn't want to sell his soul for money. He was not growth-minded enough to be with her. The power of the human mind truly has no limits. Stay strong, kings.
I was about to say, with the way that she's talking, it sounds like the job might have been OF. If you're saying that he's stable, if you're saying that he's consistent, there's not really anything bad about him, I don't have a lot of bad things to say, you must have been doing a job that was really bad. In my mind, when this video ended, I was thinking, man, OF, gotta be the only thing that she was doing, something around that, and bada bing, bada boom, OF is it. Girl, shut up.
Caption reads, all I wanted was a fit check. Look closely. Viewer discretion is advised. The lack of self-awareness in today's day and age is at an all-time high, and I firmly believe in that. But I do have a few questions. Ma'am, you don't got mirrors in your house? You got dressed, you didn't see what you look like before you walked out the door? And if you don't have mirrors in your house, why? Was your lights off or something? How did you not see what you put on before you left the house? Secondly, why are you on the side of a highway? Now, I can't tell exactly what city you're in, but you're on the side of a highway in what seems to look like an abandoned building. And you decide, hey, I really want to see my outfit. Let me pull over, set my phone up, and look at my outfit. Now, this could have just been pure coincidence. He could have easily just been coming down the street and you just so happened to be there. That could have been a thing. Or it could have definitely been some real danger. Thirdly, ma'am, the fit was trash. I'm just saying, right, the fit was garbage. And I'm not the one to get on here and talk about what people wear, but ma'am, that was not worthy of you getting out of your car and trying to see how you just had on a t-shirt, some sweats, Uggs, and a LA hat. The hat had no structure is what I mean. The hat just wasn't looking right on your head. And you put your life in possible danger for that? Why? You were seconds away from around and finding out. Now, the people in that city would have to turn on the TV. Channel 7 News today. Young woman goes missing. Last thing seen of her was a post that said, fit check. Why? This social media is aiding a lot of bad decisions by a lot of y'all that are very simple-minded. There is no way in hell you want me to believe your fit was that important for you to pull over in what seemed to be a dangerous neighborhood. For a fit check. Okay, you know what? I can't care more than she does. Now, I'm happy you got away safely, but please, I hope this is a learning lesson to not do no stupid shit like that again. Yeah, keep the change.
On the side of the road? In the dark? You're doing a fit check? There's no protection for this. This is ignorance.
A lot of women overestimate their ability to communicate. I'm going to tell you what I mean. A lot of women express themselves very well. Express themselves. They can sit there and run down to you everything that they feeling, everything that they don't like about what you're doing, everything that makes them feel away or makes them feel uncomfortable. But when it's time to receive the information, that's when the communication
One ear and out the
is a little
other.
shaky. You see what I'm saying? So again, as men, we know that walking in, and because we don't feel like arguing with y'all, because we don't want to see y'all cry, we don't want to see y'all do everything that y'all gonna do when we run down what it is that your is not doing right. Most men just shy away from the conversation. So I think that if women would live up to the communication standard that they set, then that would open the door for men to be way more communicative. But until then, you're going to get men who shut down and keep things in, unfortunately.
Did you send that man some money on for lunch today? Did you send him that money for their haircut? Did you make his favorite drink, had the oil laid out for a massage from when he got off from that stressful day at work? Did you ask to wash his hair? Okay, I'm just saying, sometimes we gotta do that for these men. I know they surprising us with stuff all the time, and it's so normal for us to get gifts all the time. But what about them? What about your man? Okay, did you offer to take them for dinner? I'm just saying, we gotta do better. We gotta do better, my sisters. Show them some love. Let them know. Did you just stare at him out the blue? And then when he be like, what? And you just be like, hey, you just fine.
There's right now in the world doing everything you need to do. He a good father, he a good man, he a good husband, he go to church, you know what I'm saying? He love his wife, he take care of her, provide for her financially, provide for his kids, go to all his kids' sports games, all types of shit. They have a great home, great family in the suburbs. They have love, they got married when they were younger. Beautiful, beautiful life, right? And that man is going to one day find his wife cheating on him. And I think about that shit a lot because I ain't gonna lie, it's one of my top fears, bro. Like, not my top fears, but like my top 5. And I was talking about it with my homeboy. And I was like, nigga, I worked my whole life and I'm still working so I can be a good man. So in the future, I can provide for my family, my wife, my children. We can be happy and joyful and under God and have love, right? Because that for me is the epitome. Like, that for me is the peak. I ain't really grew up with that shit, so I feel like to see that shit in my own life, that is the peak goal. That is the peak of God's gift, nigga, outside of heaven. Like, on earth, that's the peak of God right there. Like, family, happy family, boom, right? So I'm like, boom, there's right now, right? Doing all the shit he need to do. He love his wife. They going on dates. He probably took her out to a few vacations. Probably giving her good dick. Who knows? He doing everything he can do. And she might just get bored and just say, I'm going to just fuck this random one time. And it's like, damn, that shit crazy, because it's like you worked all this time to be this type of nigga, to be the best nigga you could possibly be. And I don't know if this is just a regular fear or if this is just my own fear. I feel like most men kind of got this fear a little bit because it's like, damn, for men, I think self-improvement is big. Like, we're told from jits, like from little ass kids and shit, we have to really self-improve and be better men, be good men. So it's like, bro, imagine you work your whole life to be this nigga that finally is deserving of the family, the kids, under God. Like, you have it. Nigga, you have it. You're maintaining it. And your wife just get bored and fuck on some young nigga. It's like, damn, it's like...
Now, definitely like this video. Go to his brother page and watch some of his other videos for a bunch of original content. He makes a bunch of good stuff. Sorry, it's fear because it's real. That's the reality of the real world. Majority of the world do not care about us men's emotional state. They only care about women. Men get cheated on just as much as women. It's just looked at differently. What you're stating happens every single day, multiple times a day. Right now, there's somebody's wife getting teabagged by some man that barely even knows her. That's the hardcore truth, and everybody goes through it. From married men to men in long-term relationships. Quick example, even myself, I'm just finding new information out. I was in a long-term relationship with somebody that literally had 2 relationships going on at the exact same time. When I was at work, she was entertaining a totally different person. Then when I was off, she was available. She even had her friends lined for as well as family members. The realities of the real world. That's why you live in your purpose, you pursue your purpose, create stronger boundaries. That way at the end of that relationship, you can go out and find better. Leave your comment in the comment section. But y'all grown and do what y'all want to do.
One thing thing I want you to understand is that men aren't just lonely. Brotherhood has collapsed. Brotherhood, as you know, it has collapsed in on itself, and nobody told them. Not because men got weaker, not because women changed, not because feelings got soft. Brotherhood died because the system buried it and taught men to perform masculinity instead of experience it. Because men weren't supposed to live life solo. We know this. We know this. Men weren't supposed to do that. Men were supposed to have each other, though. Not in competition, not in silence, not in dominance, but in witness. In witness. Brotherhood used to mean you weren't grieving alone. You weren't scared alone. You weren't raising your kids alone. You weren't carrying the weight of being a man alone. Right? I'm just saying it. Men were supposed to grow with mirrors and not masks. And when those mirrors disappear, you didn't just lose your friends, you lost yourself. It's a fact, right? The collapse of brotherhood, just so you really get it, the collapse of brotherhood did not make men weak. I am not saying that. It did make them unmirrored. And an unmirrored man will disappear in plain sight. I promise. That's the real epidemic right there in your face. Because a man with no brotherhood has no emotional outlet, no identity formation, no accountability without shame, no place to confess, no place to collapse, no place to be seen. So he turns every struggle inward until it becomes numbness, performance, or rage. That's all he has left. Not because he's dangerous, but because he's unwitnessed. He's unwitnessed. Nobody spots him. And the system loves unwitnessed men. Because guess what unwitnessed men are? Easy to control. Easy to radicalize. Easy to exhaust. Easy to shame. Easy to distract. Easy to turn against women. And easy to turn against themselves. I'm telling you, they come with the whole package. Because a man without brotherhood will mistake isolation for identity and performance for strength. I'm going to just tell you again. A man without brotherhood will mistake isolation for identity and performance for strength. That's the trap right there, because patriarchy didn't fail men. It starved them and then rewarded them for having bones only. Right? Bones only. It taught men to distrust the only people who could have taught them how to be human. Each other. Right? I'm just being honest. So it replaced brotherhood with competition, hierarchy, silence, shame, the real man stands alone lie, and then handed women the job description of being every man's therapist, mirror, mother, and emotional system. It did. Right? It told them be everything because it required a man to be nothing. That's what it was. Not because women ever changed, though. I don't want you to get stuck on that. It's because men had no men to fall back on. Nobody had your back. And you know that. Nobody was there for you. So because of that, I want you to know that men are not lonely because they don't have women. Men are lonely because they don't have men. That's the saddest part of the whole story. They miss something they never had. They feel nostalgic for a bond that was stolen before they were born. And that ache, that hollowness, that quiet panic that forms under you, that is never weakness. I won't let you call yourself weak here. It's actually the ghost of brotherhood calling your name back home. So the collapse of brotherhood was never a man's failure. It wasn't, but it was the system strategy. It was the system strategy. And on it, and in its return, that's on us. Right? If we want brotherhood back, it really is going to be on us, because men don't need to be rescued. Men do need to be reunited. Men need to be reunited.
Well, I would say, I think there's been a concerted effort, even outside of, like to say the patriarchy and stuff like that. And men do have to take some accountability for what's going on. But I would say male spaces existed. And if you're coming in as a man and saying, hey, brother, we need to clean some of this up. Hey, the way that we talk, the way that we act, we need to clean a little bit of that up so we can get a little bit healthier. But with society today, male spaces are being abolished altogether. They're saying, nah, we don't need that. You guys don't need to be here. Y'all don't really have any feelings anyway. Your feelings don't matter. Your feelings are toxic, most of them anyway. I mean, you have your moments, but for the most part, let's break this stuff up. No private talk amongst you guys, no jokes amongst you guys, no emotional vulnerability and transparency amongst you guys, because that could turn into radicalism. We never know. So it's always policing a man's emotions. It's always policing a man's move. It's always watching and babysitting a man's behaviors that men get tired of. So that's why a man says, you know what? I'm going to break away from all of that. I'm going to break away from society. Society keeps on trying to form me and morph me. That's what men's spaces gave men the opportunity to do, to grow within boundaries and confines. And when society is saying, no, actually, let's redefine what a man is. And they strip away not just a few things here and there, but they strip away everything. Well, we're going to completely rewrite the code on this and completely rewrite the code on this. We still want them to look like men, so we're not going to change that code. But the fact that the very fact of who they are, the essence, the sustenance of who they are. We're going to rewrite that and say, well, a man is this, 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 and this. Not a masculine man is, and define it with a few updates and changes. Essentially what they're doing is giving, if I can put it in technological terms, they're giving the app it's more than a rebrand. It's a different app, but they've slapped the same name on it. It's like the NFL saying, okay, we're making updates to our app to streamline it, and then you update the app. It still says NFL, but when you click on it, you're watching basketball games, and you're thinking, well, maybe they're just in a partnership with the NFL, and maybe they're just showing games from the NBA as a part or a way to market and get you to buy their subscription to League Pass. What is this? And then you keep on getting back on there and say, where in the heck is the NFL? Why would they keep on showing basketball games? Because somebody jacked up the app. Somebody hijacked the app. So society is hijacking men. They've jacked up men. Yes, once again, there's a lot of things that men have to take accountability for. But this is not just on men. Society and the way society has pushed and prodded and pulled on men and shamed men and talked about men in terms of how men discuss them, and men are to be despised, they are to be rejected, they are to be left behind, they are to be put in isolation. So a man just goes into isolation. He builds his own house. He lives off the land. He makes the best of the situation. It's not perfect, but I made the best of what I have. That's what you're seeing today, in my opinion. Maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I do have wounds that I need to heal, but I made the best decision with the cards that you've given me. And people are still upset about that. They won't be mad until a man has no cards to play, until he's under the thumb of whatever this regime is.
Your husband is not designed to glorify and to idolize your emotions. He's not designed for that, because he's designed to represent the image of God, to glorify the Lord. And so when he's not serving you and your emotions, he's going to be as good as what he serves. So if he is fully submitted to Christ, he's fully submitted to God, he's going to start looking like our Lord and Savior. He's going to start walking like our Lord and Savior. He's submitted to that, so he's going to look as good as what he believes he is, what he's identifying himself in. But if it is your emotions that he serves, he's going to be as good as your emotional well-being. If you put him down and are in a negative space today, and he identifies himself in your emotions, he's not going to feel good enough. He's not going to feel worthy. He's going to suffer. He's going to have a hard time. You want his pillar, you want his entire identity to be rooted in Christ. That way he has an anchor and he can anchor you. But a woman that runs the household and the man submitted to her, everybody in the household is submitted to her emotions, and they all serving her emotions and her emotional well-being. And it's a very chaotic, dysfunctional household. There's no order in that house. You want to push your husband into his identity with Christ. That is how you'll, prosper in your marriage, and that's what you want to focus on, which means you have to die to being first in his life. Who needs to come first is Christ, not you and your emotional well-being.
What scripture supports this idea that we are supposed to build a man? See, that's the problem with society now. Everybody's screaming a woman ain't supposed to build a man, but nobody actually reading what the word says. In Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1, it says, a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down with her hands. That's not just about bricks and walls. That's about influence, because a real woman knows that her words can either build a king or break his confidence. And in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, God said, it is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. Helper does not mean maid. It doesn't mean mother. It means divine partner. The same Hebrew word ezer is used to describe God helping man. So if God can help man, why is it a problem when a woman does? Society has women thinking that femininity means silence, and men thinking that leadership means domination. But in the kingdom, partnership looks like power under order. So no, I'm not here to build a boy, But if you're a man of vision, my presence will build the environment where that vision multiplies. Because a godly woman doesn't compete with the man. She completes her man.
Absolutely love this. Love these two. Wanted to post a good, wholesome gym video that I know will put a smile on all your faces, just like it did for me. Been following these two, both Anya and Kyle, for a while now, and had the pleasure of actually meeting Kyle, grabbing a workout, meeting his family. They are both such incredible athletes and such inspirations, not just to people with Down syndrome, but to all of us. So Anya, Kyle, thank you. Go show them both some love and have an amazing, amazing weekend.
And now y'all sitting googly eyes at one another. Y'all better go in there and hit them weights. Y'all playing around. Y'all need to leave each other alone now.
I just seen a video of a man right now saying that he would never date a woman if she hasn't been through adversity. And what does that mean? He's not going to be in a relationship with a woman who hasn't been through deep waters or hasn't been through nothing. I wholeheartedly agree. A lot of men, I totally get it. This is just an opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying anything. I'm just agreeing with the man. And that's coming from a man who's healthy, looks not toxic. Anyway, a lot of men like to say, I want a girl who's sweet, soft, docile, all this stuff. That's a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are times where you guys go broke, she leaves you. You get cancer, she leaves you. Shit gets hard, you can't pay for stuff because you got hurt at your job or something happened, she leaves you. Why? Because those women are not built to handle a lot of stuff. Again, there are some women who weren't meant for that. Totally get it. But I think the best relationships are the ones that go through the most. And we don't mean cheating. We don't mean abuse. That's not, to me, that is not what ride or die means. Ride or die means you're riding until the wheels fall off. Our house gets flooded. We're rocking together in a hotel. We both working to get back to, getting our new place. Something happens to our child dies. Instead of us leaving each other and not being able to get pushed past it, we come together and become stronger. Your parent dies. I don't sit there and shame you for it and get mad and go, oh, well, he died 3 years ago. Get over it. But you're not the controller of how somebody handles their mental health. So sit alongside of him, help him, take care of him, because that's the whole point of a relationship. I truly wholeheartedly believe that the best relationships are the ones where you guys go through, y'all, and you see it. The love is just different, because they always say when you guys make it out of that storm, you love each other more. The thing I don't like about this generation is they're trying to normalize, oh yeah, he beats me. We went through a lot. Girl, what? No. Oh, he cheats on me. That's not ride or die, bro. That's kind of sad that you have to be put through the ringer. Your partner has to show you they don't want nothing to do with you and you want to stick around. That's not anything to me. That's not anything strong or anything. That's weak to me, because you're staying with somebody who doesn't love you. That's my personal opinion. But I truly believe that men should get with women who are built for this world. I personally think that. And I'm so glad that that man said it, because he said it so great. I just can't share it, y'all, because when there's music and stuff over it, it'll copyright me. So I want to know your guys' opinion. Like I said, I'm not right. It's just my opinion. But I think that's the reason why a lot of relationships don't work no more, because a lot of women do not know how to withstand a lot of stuff in this world. And again, I'm not talking about cheating. I'm not talking about abuse. I'm just talking about the moment your man doesn't have $1 billion anymore, you're ready to jump ship and leave like he wasn't financing you the entire time. I don't know. I just don't think women are built for a lot of things anymore. And they don't have to be. I'm not forcing it. I'm not saying you have to. Again, it's just an opinion. I already know there's going to be people tussling in the comments, but what do you guys think?